halfway around the world could give your family the time together they so desperately needed, might you be sorely tempted? But could you go ahead and make the move if it meant having to leave one member of your family behind? Pulling pints and being a travelling teacher means James and Lisa Cornish hardly ever see their two little boys.
I would absolutely love for us to feel like a family again, and for me to feel like I'm a mum and a wife again.
So they're considering moving lock, stock and barrel to the other side of the world.
I'll get more time to spend with the boys in the evenings, be less tired because I won't be working 100 hours a week.
But while Australia could give them the lifestyle they want,
I can honestly say I've never really seen them that happy as they have been this week.
It would mean James saying goodbye to his daughter for months at a time.
This week in Australia is going to be really important because it's going to change our lives, really, whichever way we choose.
With more than a quarter of its population born abroad, Australia's long been a dream destination for people in search of a better life. Around 40,000 UK residents flock to the country every year, hoping the healthy outdoor lifestyle and prosperous economy will improve their standard of living. But not all of them achieve their dream. Of those brave enough to make the move, 1 in 4 ultimately return to the UK. James and Lisa Cornish are desperate for more time together with sons Sammy and Louis and believe Australia could be the answer. Moving, however, would come at a price. James's daughter would be left behind in the UK. Now, even if the family can persuade Lauren to come out for visits, James faces the prospect of being separated from his daughter for most of the year. The Cornish's journey begins with a 10,000-mile flight from London to Melbourne via Dubai. It's the family's first time in Australia, and the reality of just how far they've come has hit home.
When you've had a 7-hour flight, you get off and then you realise that you've got another 13-hour flight after that. Really puts it into perspective how far away Australia is from England.
The flight has taken its toll on Sammy and Louis, but Lisa and James are raring to go.
We're really excited about the week, really looking forward to seeing what houses are like, what the areas are like to live in.
You can actually see everything in the flesh, so looking forward to it.
If the week goes according to plan, the 20-hour flight's one Lauren could be making on a regular basis.
If it would be good for them, then I'd definitely make the journey because it means I get to see what they're doing and be a part of their lives.
When their time in Melbourne's up, the family will face a life-changing decision. In the UK, the Cornish family live above a pub near Sheffield. They're James, Lisa, 5-year-old Sammy, 2-year-old Louis and James's daughter Lauren, who's 13. The family started running the pub in 2013 after James took voluntary redundancy as an accountant. While everyone hoped it would mean more time together, the reality's been the exact opposite.
I've been working much more than we expected, up to sort of 100 hours a week.
For James, the pub has completely took over his life. If he's not running the business, nobody is.
James works 7 days a week, and Lisa's job as an accountancy lecturer at colleges across the country means she's also missing out on quality time with the children.
The commuting in general is a real strain on family life. There have been weeks when I've left house on a Sunday evening and haven't seen the kids till a Thursday evening.
And there's no let-up when it comes to the weekend. As Lisa's drafted in to help James behind the bar, Sammy and Louis have to stay with their grandparents.
It's a horrible feeling to feel like somebody else is enjoying spending time with your kids all the time.
It's a situation that can't go on any longer.
It does upset me that I can't spend the time with the boys, and my relationship with them is suffering because of it.
It does cause tension. I mean, we have had arguments, genuinely, just because we've both been so tired and so stressed with everything that it's unavoidable.
With the pub meaning the family have even less quality time, the couple are now considering a more drastic lifestyle change, one which could take them to the other side of the world.
It might be slightly naive, but at the moment, Australia, to me, I feel as though it's going to give us that family life together that we just don't have here in the UK. The fact that potentially we could be getting paid more for the work that we do here over there means that we could afford a better lifestyle for us and the kids.
I'll get more time to spend with the boys in the evenings. I'll be less tired because I won't be working 100 hours a week, and it will strengthen our relationship and bring us all closer together.
But while Australia could reunite James and Lisa with their boys, it would mean James leaving a daughter behind.
Lauren's my daughter from my first marriage, and she spends half the time with us and half the time with her mum. If we do decide to move out to Australia, she will stay here until she's 18.
13-year-old Lauren's faced with the prospect of spending months rather than days at a time without seeing her dad and his family.
It's not 10 miles down the road anymore, it's across the world. I'd miss them a lot if they went, and I'm that close with them. They know everything about me, they're my brothers.
But she understands their life can't carry on as it is.
I think my dad feels like he's abandoning me if he does move over there, but I want them to have a better life than over here.
James and Lisa will face an agonising decision.
Being a father to her and to the boys, it makes my decision much more difficult.
I would miss out, I would miss spending that time with her, and I think the boys would miss her more so. I think the boys really dote on her.
Lauren could spend holidays down under, but if she doesn't like Australia, Lisa and James's dream could be over.
If we visit out there and Lauren turns around and says, look, this is not somewhere where I think I'll ever want to spend a huge amount of time.
That would be like a game changer, really, because I don't think that I could spend my life without her.
James knows something has to give if he's to have any quality time with his wife and young sons. But to make a move work, not only will he have to persuade Lauren Australia could be her home for part of the year, he'll also have to come to terms with being separated from her for months at a time. The family will be spending a week in Melbourne, Australia's second most populated city and capital of the state of Victoria. Their temporary new home is a 3-bedroom house in Williamstown, a popular coastal suburb 15 miles from the city centre.
Wakey!
It's the family's first chance to see what living on the other side of the world could be like.
Looks lovely. Let's get in and have a look.
Go on then.
It's lovely, open stairs.
Yeah, it's really modern actually, I like that. I like how it's open plan.
Yeah.
First impressions are good, but then...
I'm not so sure there would be enough space.
No, we're used to more space than this.
And the space inside isn't the only problem.
Not much of a view, though.
In my head, I've got visions of opening the doors wide open and the kids running in and out of a garden.
Garden, grass. And...
Not a patio.
While upstairs does have one plus.
I like the thought of a balcony.
Seems really
I'm not sure I
quiet.
could see myself eating breakfast out here with people walking past
Yeah.
or driving past on the way to work.
It's just not the ideal living Lauren was hoping for.
It's not unique. There's no real wildlife or anything to look at.
And she's not the only one that's less than impressed.
If everything I've seen from the airport to here is what Australia's about, then I don't think it would be the place for us.
They may have just arrived, but already James and Lauren's thoughts are turning towards possibly being separated.
It's something that we've kind of put on the back burner to say, how do we all really feel about spending 4 or 5 months apart at a time?
This week in Australia is going to be really important because it's going to change our lives, really, whichever way we choose.
It's a real case of upstairs, downstairs back in the UK for the Cornishes, who live above the pub James manages.
We've got 3 bedrooms, the boys share a room. Lauren's got her own bedroom as well, but we don't have a huge amount of space.
It doesn't really feel like home to us whenever we sit upstairs and get any time off. It feels like people are in your house.
So it's no surprise that space is at the top of James's wish list for property down under.
Modern, spacious, with 4 or 5 bedrooms, plenty of room for the kids to play.
For Lisa, the list goes on a bit further.
I've ended up with this big long wish list of walk-in wardrobes, en-suites, theatre rooms, pool, big long list.
We do need an extra bedroom because we've got a long list of people that have got to come see us.
James and Lisa have a budget of £250,000 to £300,000 for a home in Australia, but could possibly stretch further depending on their salaries. To give them an idea of Melbourne's property market, today we'll show them 3 houses, 2 based on their budget and a 3rd based on everything they want. Only after they've seen each one will they find out its value. The search begins in Werribee, a suburb 20 miles west of the city. With good commuting links, a restaurant district and plenty of schools and green spaces, it's a family-friendly area which could be perfect for the Cornishes.
I really like the area, kind of driving through.
Typical impression you get of Australia, living in the UK.
The outside might not impress much.
It looks quite dated.
Hasn't got a huge amount of curb appeal for my tastes. I like things that are much more modern.
But appearances can be deceptive.
Oh. Well, this wasn't what I was expecting. Wow. From the front, it doesn't even look like it's got an upstairs. I didn't even see that.
No, I didn't.
Are you sure we're in the same house?
No, I want to see the rest of it now.
Yeah, I do too.
The property's got the open plan interiors Lisa's after, but will it have the space the family crave?
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine it without any of the furniture in and what we would do with it.
I think once we get the kids' toys in here and everything, I think we'd struggle for space and feel cramped again.
And the kitchen's not perfect either.
Certain parts of it feel modern and updated and other parts don't.
To be honest, it needs ripping out and starting again.
That's always possible though, and the house does have 5 bedrooms, meaning not only could Sammy and Louis have their own rooms, but Lauren too, if she visits.
I could see the boys in here.
It's a good size for them. Oh, that's a nice little den. Just put some cushions in and reading books on the walls and everything, and they'd love that.
That's the boys potentially sorted, and another feature manages to catch Lisa's eye.
Wow. This is a walk-in wardrobe and a half. It's just everything at home is so cramped.
This wardrobe's the size of their bedroom at home.
So does this house have all the space needed?
Oh, gosh. Wow.
Not in every sense.
I don't know who was going to fit in that bath.
Louis.
God.
I can't imagine what you would do with a bath this small.
No worries about you falling asleep and drowning.
Well, that's something, I guess. And so it turns out it's the garden.
This is far more what we were looking for.
Outdoors-wise.
Outdoors-wise. For the boys.
It's nice.
You like this one, don't you?
Yeah. And from the windows upstairs you'll have a view of the garden and the trees and things.
This house could be somewhere Lauren could call a second home. But could the family afford it on their £250,000 to £300,000 budget?
Okay, how much do you think this one's worth?
210,000.
It's going to go under the 200 mark, maybe something around 185, 190.
I'm going to say 230.
230.
Okay.
Should we have a look?
Yes, go on then.
Oh dear.
Wow. 262. That's a lot more than I was expecting, and a lot more than
Anybody was
expecting. I don't know whether this area in general's more expensive then.
That's not justifiable to me at all.
It's within budget, but it looks like James and Lisa want a house that delivers much more for their money. Will property number 2 fit the bill? It's situated in Tarneet, just 15 miles from Melbourne's central business district. A new railway link will whisk local families to the city centre in just 30 minutes, while the area offers families parks, schools, shopping centres and the modern style of housing Lisa's after.
That's way bigger.
This looks nice. Big.
It's lovely.
Straight away, this property's looking more promising.
Oh gosh, James, it goes back quite a way as well. It's a lot of colour.
Yeah, a lot of colour. I don't mind that. I prefer colour to just plain. What do you think, Lauren?
Different.
It's different.
Diplomatic on the decor, Lauren? After living over a pub, all this room should definitely be a bonus.
There's loads of space. I love how open plan it is again.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It's got 3 living rooms.
It's much bigger than the last house, but is there now too much room to roam?
It's finding the balance between what space we need and would like to have, and then having this massive house that A, doesn't get used very often, and B, needs a massive amount of cleaning. Can we afford a cleaner?
There's one space James seems more than happy with.
Oh, wow. This is my room.
Yeah, you can live here. Yeah, so I can see sort of like little bar area in the corner.
But the garden isn't ideal for everyone.
It's possibly the one area that I don't like about the house. Yeah, there's loads of space, it's just not 2-year-old friendly.
The house inside overall is fantastic. I'm a little bit disappointed with the outside.
Downstairs has provoked mixed reactions, but upstairs has its own appeal.
You got your walk-in wardrobe.
I know. It was definitely on my wish list.
The master bedroom also has a balcony with views to the front.
It's not like it's got an amazing view or anything like that, but it's green and it's pleasant.
It's a lovely ensuite.
It's a really nice size, isn't it?
His and hers sinks.
Isn't her sinks? I miss having an ensuite.
Having one bathroom or one toilet to share between 5 of us is hell, and it's only going to get worse the older they get.
That's a fair point. This house would also give Lauren her own bedroom, and that could seal the deal when it comes to persuading her to visit. But with a budget of between £250,000 and £300,000, is it affordable?
Okay, so what do you think it's worth then?
I'd say probably about 270,000.
I was going to say a little bit more than that. I think around about 290, 300. Should we have a look?
Yeah. So, spot on, 295.
You get a lot for your money.
I think if we had the dream, it would be a new build with this space and a bigger garden.
I'm really excited to see the dream house now.
That's 2 properties viewed based on the family's budget. Next up, the dream home. We found a property which could offer everything the Cornishes want, but luxury living can come at a cost. This 4-bedroom bungalow is in Sanctuary Lakes, one of 20 modern estates which make up the semi-rural but family-friendly suburb of Point Cook. And first impressions are good.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Every single house in the street I'd quite happily live in, I think.
You haven't been inside yet, Lisa.
Oh, wow.
This is stunning.
Oh, James. I'm so excited about this place.
Oh my God.
Crikey. And this is just the ensuite.
Yeah.
Further down the corridor, something everyone can enjoy.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's a proper cinema room. Just imagine when that's got projected, what that's like.
Looks like everyone could settle in nicely here.
I'd definitely come out and visit. Well, I'd come out and visit anyway, wherever you were living, but more frequently if you're living here.
Lauren may be sold, but James is already thinking about how he could afford it.
I think I'd get 2 jobs to get this house. The kitchen is fantastic. It's absolutely stunning.
Everything that we've looked at is to such a high specification. It is a dream house.
It's perfect.
And outside, something else to keep them happy.
The pool wasn't top of the list or anything, that's just a kind of a bonus
It's
add-on.
icing on the cake.
At last, a chance for the boys to dip their
nice?
toes into what life in Australia could be like.
How would you like to live here and have this in your garden
Yeah.
all the time? You can just imagine yourself living here.
This house offers everything James and Lisa want, but would Lauren be happy with it as a second home?
It'd be worth not living with you. Well, it wouldn't, but it would at the same time, knowing that I get to come out to this for 2-3 months, yeah, maybe more.
I think we need to find out how much it is,
Yeah, I think we do too.
see if we can afford it.
The house has won everyone over, but there's just one problem. It may be out of financial reach. The family's budget is between £250,000 and £300,000.
It's going to be a lot. 440,000.
Oh, I think it's going to be nearer 550.
50.
Yeah.
Time to find out who's right.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
That's £100,000 over budget, but
Oh, I can still have that.
That almost makes me cry.
I'm completely and utterly speechless that we could get this house in this location for that amount of money.
and it could be within reach if the couple can get the right salaries.
I'm even more speechless now than I was when I walked through the door. It's just completely within reach.
It's been a day of real ups and downs for the Cornishes. Property 1 was bang on budget but short on space. Property 2 had plenty of room, but it just wasn't the house James and Lisa had based their dreams on. And Property 3 had everything the family wanted and was somewhere Lauren could call a second home.
So based on the houses that we've seen in Australia, we're voting for Australia. Be no surprise that we voted for the same then, given
Not at all.
how pleased we were with the last house. We could never afford that at home. Lauren, why did you vote undecided?
Because I don't know whether I want to move out here, but I want you to move out here.
What did you vote for, Sammy?
Australia.
Australia. Why did you vote for Australia?
Because it has a nice house.
Because it has a nice house.
Seeing their dream house got Lisa and James excited about a potential future in Australia. Even if they still have to persuade Lauren it could be her second home. But to afford that property, the couple would have to pull in a good income. At home, Lisa spent 11 years as an accountant before becoming an accountancy lecturer. It's a job she enjoys and is hoping to continue down under.
I'm fortunate enough to be able to teach them all levels through their accountancy qualification and eventually see them leaving as a fully qualified accountant, and that's really, really rewarding.
If they do move, James plans to call time on being a landlord and return to accounting. Research has given him confidence work will be available down under.
Mainly we've looked at sort of the central government roles, which is what we're used to here in the UK.
Melbourne's a leading financial centre in Australia, which should be good news for James and Lisa.
I'm feeling quite excited about finding out what Australia can offer for me in work-wise, and see whether the salary expectations that we've got meets up to the reality.
And Lisa knows just how much is at stake.
Unless we can find a job at the right salary level, there's no way on earth we could be able to financially make the move.
We've arranged for visa applicant Lisa to visit Box Hill Institute, a college east of Melbourne. She meets the head of the business department and a senior lecturer, and it's straight down to business.
Well, what teaching qualifications do you have?
Right, so in the UK there aren't any teaching qualification requirements for me to teach the chartered qualification.
Right, to get a teaching job here, the minimum qualification is a certificate for in training and assessment. That will take you about a month. You have got certainly more than the minimum to get employed as a teacher. However, in the current environment, would highly recommend more qualifications, higher level qualifications, breadth and depth, and that will maximise your chances of employment and also maximise your salary.
Okay, so what sort of demand would there be in Australia for someone with my experience?
We advertise for any lecturer role. You get maybe 80% of applications that come through are people from overseas.
It sounds like Lisa might be back at school herself if she's to stand out from candidates chasing lecturing jobs. And that would mean more pressure on James to find the perfect job. To get to the bottom of accounting opportunities, he's meeting Susan Drews from one of the city's prominent recruitment companies.
So James, having a look at your resume, you're a certified practicing accountant, and more recently you've been running a pub. Bit of a different accountant to a pub holder.
Yeah, so I'm still accounting for myself, so I'm still practicing accounting, but it's more wide-ranging, so I'm running the end-to-end business rather than just looking at the finance.
Hoping to escape the pub, James needs to explore his other prospects in Australia.
So really, looking at your experience, your skills in government, I believe would be very transferable into the state government here or a public sector environment. We've got a number of specialist consultants who work specifically with the government, and we recruit these roles on a daily basis within the business.
James could be in demand. Back at Box Hill, Lisa's keen to hear her potential salary if she found a job.
Some of the jobs that I'd been looking at were in the region of £80,000 to £100,000.
That sort of money as a lecturer, not as a manager, is maybe at the top end of the university scale. I estimate, Lisa, that you'd come in about the middle of the lecturer range, which would be a salary about $60,000 to $70,000 a year.
That's a massive £50,000 less than Lisa was hoping for, and that could mean the end of her and James's dream.
We'd want the standard of living that would offer the boys and ourselves a much better lifestyle. If we can't get the salary to enable us to do that, then I'm not so sure that we'd move to Australia.
The family are desperate for change, but if James's potential earnings aren't high enough, it may mean leaving Lauren won't be an issue after all.
So what sort of salary do you think I'd be able to command out in Australia?
Look, I think realistically you'd be looking at anything at about that sort of 80 to 100k mark. Now I appreciate that's quite a wide range. It's very much depending on the nature of the role.
We were looking at $90,000 to $100,000, which converts around about £50,000 to £60,000.
Yep.
Which, to be honest with you, is more than I was on in the UK.
Yep.
But from what we've seen, we would need that extra to be able to afford the lifestyle that we're hoping to achieve.
Yep.
So that's perfect.
Yep.
The day's definitely been more positive for James.
I think from speaking to Susan, I could see myself working in Melbourne. Although it's a big city, it seems very relaxed and very laid back, and it's just what we're looking for.
Lisa and James have had completely different experiences today, so how will that affect their vote? Will they choose work in Australia or the UK?
Based on our work experience today, we are voting for
Australia. Although the salary expectations in lecturing are immediately a lot less than what I was expecting, I'm not bothered by that. It just means that we'll have to have a rethink and maybe look at some different opportunities for me in the short term.
in terms of what it'll give us as a family, moving away from the pub and everything that goes with that, I still think we'll be better off out here.
A return to practicing accounting for Lisa means the couple's dream isn't over yet. But James still needs to establish if the benefits Australia can offer his family will outweigh the time he'll spend apart from daughter Lauren, and convince her to split her time between the two countries. A day sampling Australia's lifestyle could make all the difference. The Cornishes are spending the day at Latrobe Golf Park in Bundoora. Before becoming consumed with running the pub, James was a keen golfer, and he's hoping that if he and Lisa could get more time with Sammy and Louis, it's a sport they could practice together. It's a reminder of what a move is all about.
Lifestyle's a huge part of
the decision to move to Australia. It's the whole reason why we're even considering it.
We don't spend a huge amount of time together as a family, and moving to Australia would offer us the opportunity to have that time back and for us to feel like a family again, and for me to feel like I'm a mum and a wife again.
Everyone's worked up an appetite, and luckily Lisa has come prepared. It's a real taste of what life could be like, and James is delighted to get quality time with his boys.
I can honestly say I've never really seen them that happy as they have been this week, that they can go and play together, and even myself and Lisa get involved in that, and it's not something we can do at home.
The day's rounded off at the driving range. The Australian lifestyle could give the family everything they're looking for. And Lauren knows just how much that means to James and Lisa.
It upsets me that they might move to Australia, but on the other hand it doesn't, because I want them to move to have a better life than they could ever have in England. I want them to be happy.
The afternoon also gives James and Lauren some important father-daughter time and the chance to discuss what moving would mean for their relationship.
So how would you feel then if we came out here?
Well, I'd be upset, but I'd be happy for you as well.
I'd be happy to see us for 2 or 3 months a year rather than every week.
Oh, I'd get used to it. It's like I got used to not seeing you and Mum together. I want you to move out here, I've told you that. And you're not abandoning me.
I know, but I don't want you to feel like you've got to say that, because
no, I don't feel
that's
like
what you think I want to hear. No, are you sure?
I'm saying that because that's how I feel.
Okay.
Today's not only provided much-needed time together, it's seen Lauren reassure James having half her family on the other side of the world is an idea she could get used to. But come the end of the week, James will still face a difficult choice.
It's a massive decision, because I've got to try and balance doing what's right for me and Lisa and the boys with doing right by Lauren.
It's been a fun and thought-provoking day for the family. So when it comes to choosing between lifestyle in Australia or the UK, what will they opt for?
Australia! It's been really nice being able to spend time together as a family again.
I'm the same. It's just nice to be able to spend time together as a family.
A unanimous vote for Australia's all well and good, but with Lisa's projected salary much lower than expected, the family now need to find out whether they can actually afford to make the move. We've provided a breakdown of their living expenses, starting with their fortnightly grocery shop.
Quite a lot of the vegetables and things double.
Beef's a lot cheaper, chicken's a lot cheaper.
The yogurts are loads more expensive. Crikey.
Looks like Sammy and Louis may have to forego their fromage frais.
Most things are more expensive though, aren't they? Let's face it, as we go down the list, most of the things on there.
Shop is £67.18.
More in the UK. 73% more expensive.
There's no hiding, these two are accountants. £135 a month more on food isn't a deal breaker, but how will the bigger figures stack up? James and Lisa base their calculations on the second property they viewed.
Gas is half the price. So the childcare would be more expensive because we wouldn't have grandparents looking after the kids.
So it's £470 to £15.
Added to the extra grocery bill, Lisa and James would spend £600 more per month in Australia. The dream could live or die on their potential salaries.
My salary would be £543 more. Your salary would be £2 less.
£2 less. And this is based on...
teaching. So overall,
yeah,
we would be £70.85 better off a month in Australia.
If Lisa lectured down under, the family would be around £70 better off each month. Not bad, but not enough to pay for regular flights for Lauren.
If I went back into accounting, we'd be £10,606.20 a year better off. And even if we had the dream house, if I was in accounting and you were too, then we'd still be £5,326 better off a year.
It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference.
It's a massive difference.
A return to accounting for Lisa changes everything.
I can't put into words how that makes me feel.
Lisa and James could afford the life they're desperate for with their sons and flights for Lauren, so how will they vote?
Australia! All week I've had this horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach that feeling's completely gone now.
So you're happy again?
Yeah, I'm happy again. Celebrate.
The financial cost of Lisa and James's dream seems achievable, but what about the emotional cost? While Sammy and Louis are looked after by a childminder, the rest of the family sit down to watch messages from their loved ones in the UK.
Hiya.
Hi, Lisa, James.
Hi. Hope you're having fun, enjoying yourself in Australia. Hope you're having a fantastic time.
When we don't want you to come back with a tan, because we don't want to look pasty next year.
As a family, Lisa and James are really, hard-working, dedicated to the family, to the kids.
James is a top bloke, and if we were to go, miss him very much.
Lisa doesn't just do something, she overdoes it, if you know what I mean. She really looks into things.
She's very sort of like confident in herself and the things she does. Because I lack in that area, it's nice because that bit rubs off and then I feel confident enough to go and do things, so it's nice. I don't think she realises that she does that.
Lauren's a lovely young girl.
She's sprung from being a little girl at the beginning of last summer to being quite a young lady, really, isn't she?
And she's a really good big sister to the boys, isn't she?
Oh, Sammy, you know what? Like I've said to James and Lisa, you lot go, but leave Sammy here with me because I don't want him to go. I really don't.
Louis is lovely. Louis is coming on smashing. We bought him a jigsaw book at Christmas, didn't we?
Oh, he's good at jigsaws.
Oh, he loves his jigsaws.
If they do move to Australia, I think it's going to absolutely crush them all in the sense of leaving Lauren behind. Only because they're going to miss her terribly.
I can honestly say that since I knew, I've been the saddest that I've ever been in my life.
I'd miss the physical contact. And although we'll be able to see them on Skype and talk to her and everything like that, I would look forward to the cuddles when I do see them, so they'd have to save them all up.
And I know it's going to be hard when they go if they don't go.
Oh, God.
It's a fantastic opportunity, and if you think you can make it work, then do it.
Yeah,
because it might be one of the best decisions you've ever made.
We'll love you to bits. We know we've told you we'll miss you, but we've also said that we wouldn't stand in your way if you made the decision to go.
I will really, really miss you. Obviously, I know it's going to be hard, especially with Lauren, but I want you to do what's best for you and be happy.
Just make sure, James and Lisa, that you look at everything before you make any decisions whatsoever and come back safe.
What do you think?
You've got to love Angel and Caroline, haven't you? Bless them.
I love Michelle.
And Michelle.
They do seem to
Be accepted.
be accepting and have our best interests at heart.
I can see now how much it is going to affect me and everyone else, but I could see that before. It's just how I will cope with it.
Lauren may have given her blessing for the family's move to Australia, but it's now time for James to decide if the lifestyle he and Lisa are yearning for with their sons is worth the time he'll lose with his daughter. Has Australia lived up to the dream?
It's been fascinating to see the Australian culture and look around some fantastic houses, experience what Australia's got to offer for us.
There's parts of the week that have been really good, parts of the week that have put my mind into doubt as to whether a move to Australia is right for us.
If James and Lisa move to the other side of the world with their sons, Lauren will be staying in the UK with her mum and only making the occasional trip down under. Has she been convinced the country could become a second home?
We've seen a lot that Australia has to offer, and most of the time Australia has been more favourable than the UK.
However, James is still wrestling with the positive and negative implications of a move.
The thing for me with the decision is Lauren. She's my daughter, she's my firstborn, and she means everything to me, and it'd be a huge change in the dynamic of our family to not have her around every week. And that's the single hardest thing for me.
Obviously I'd be sad if they did choose Australia, but I'd know what it would be doing for their lives.
Both Lisa and Lauren know how torn James is.
I think James has probably been more positive than what I've been across the week. I think his main concern always has been and always will be how it affects Lauren.
I know a lot of it does revolve around my opinion and my feelings about it, but I'd much rather them be happy than to have to stop and crush their dreams.
It's now time for the whole family to decide where their future lies.
So after spending the week in Australia, we've had some ups and some downs, but our final vote is for Australia!
Did everyone vote Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Wow. It's been a fantastic week, and I think it's the writing's on the wall for us to come out here.
It'd be silly for us to not try.
Voted Australia for you and for coming out here twice a year. Maybe when I turn 18 I could come out and have a year out.
Did you vote UK or did you vote Australia?
Australia.
Australia, shout it out.
Australia.
With Lauren happy to spend months at a time in Australia, James has decided a move down under will give the rest of his family the time together they've been missing in the UK. We wish everyone well, and who knows, on turning 18, Lauren might join them full time.
And you can find out if the family made the move by going to bbc.co.uk/wanteddownunder. A terrifying ordeal for a shop assistant when his store is robbed. But he's made a mistake and he's about to be caught red-handed in an hour's time. Next, though, revisiting a London property to see how things are coming along with homes under the hammer.
Halfway around the world could give your family the time together they so desperately needed. Might you be sorely tempted? But could you go ahead and make the move if it meant having to leave one member of your family behind? Pulling pints and being a travelling teacher means James and Lisa Cornish hardly ever see their two little boys.
I would absolutely love
for us to feel like a family again, and for me to feel like I'm a mum and a wife again.
So they're considering moving lock, stock and barrel to the other side of the world.
I'll get more time to spend with the boys in the evenings, be less tired because I won't be working 100 hours a week.
But while Australia could give them the lifestyle they want,
I can honestly say I've never really seen them that happy as they have been this week.
It would mean James saying goodbye to his daughter for months at a time.
This week in Australia is going to be really important because it's going to change
our lives really, whichever way we choose.
With more than a quarter of its population born abroad, Australia's long been a dream destination for people in search of a better life. Around 40,000 UK residents flock to the country every year, hoping the healthy outdoor lifestyle and prosperous economy will improve their standard of living. But not all of them achieve their dream. Of those brave enough to make the move, 1 in 4 ultimately return to the UK.
James and Lisa Cornish are desperate for more time together with sons Sammy and Louis and believe Australia could be the answer. Moving, however, would come at a price. James's daughter would be left behind in the UK. Now, even if the family can persuade Lauren to come out for visits, James faces the prospect of being separated from his daughter for most of the year.
The Cornish's journey begins with a 10,000-mile flight from London to Melbourne via Dubai. It's the family's first time in Australia, and the reality of just how far they've come has hit home.
When you've had a 7-hour flight, you get off and then you realise that you've got another 13-hour flight after that. Really puts it into perspective how far away Australia is from England.
The flight has taken its toll on Sammy and Louis, but Lisa and James are raring to go.
We're really excited about the week, really looking forward to seeing what houses are like, what the areas are like to live in.
You can actually see everything in the flesh, so looking forward to it.
If the week goes according to plan, the 20-hour flight's one Lauren could be making on a regular basis.
If it would be good for them, then I'd definitely make the journey, because it means I get to see what they're doing and be a part of their lives.
When their time in Melbourne's up, the family will face a life-changing decision. In the UK, the Cornish family live above a pub near Sheffield. They're James, Lisa, 5-year-old Sammy, 2-year-old Louis, and James's daughter Lauren, who's 13. The family started running the pub in 2013 after James took voluntary redundancy as an accountant. While everyone hoped it would mean more time together, the reality's been the exact opposite.
I've been working much more than we expected, up to sort of 100 hours a week.
For James, the pub has completely took over his life. If he's not running the business, nobody is.
James works 7 days a week, and Lisa's job as an accountancy lecturer at colleges across the country means she's also missing out on quality time with the children.
The commuting in general is a real strain on family life. There have been weeks when I've left house on a Sunday evening and I haven't seen the kids till a Thursday evening.
And there's no let-up when it comes to the weekend. As Lisa's drafted in to help James behind the bar, Sammy and Louis have to stay with their grandparents.
It's a horrible feeling to feel like somebody else is enjoying spending time